Good afternoon again. I'm joined this half hour by WYMT's Will Puckett from his house. As we all continue to adapt to social distancing, we are continuously experimenting with technology and ways to do things a little differently if necessary here at WYMT. And one of those ways is by having remote anchors. So I'm going to hand things over to Will this half hour, and I'll be back a little later. Will, take it away.
Steve, I've always wanted to tell you to just sit back and relax. I have this. Now I'm going to get the opportunity to do that. Let's hope it all goes just fine. So let's jump into our 4:30 half hour. One Williamsburg dance studio is staying open despite having to close its doors just a few weeks ago. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds talked to owners of that studio about how they are staying on track with their classes from home.
The Dance Center in Williamsburg is a second home for more than 100 students each week.
The lobby is full of life and excitement, and everybody's always really excited to see each other, and so there's a lot of energy here on a normal week of class for sure.
But because of COVID-19, the studio closed 3 weeks ago.
I'm emotional today even. It's been really hard. Sometimes that social distancing just really gets to you. I'm having a hard day with it today.
So they turned to doing classes online. As for their new studios, for students like Parker and Jaslyn.
It's my living room. I have a carpet that I use for when I do tap dancing so I don't scratch the floor. And then for the rest of it, I move the carpet out of the way for point and modern and everything, and I just use the hard floor.
Most importantly,
I miss everybody. I miss all of the dance friends. I miss Miss Lindsay, but through the Zoom classes, we still get to talk to each other, which is nice. We do virtual high fives and send each other hearts and, blow kisses and all of that. So we're still trying to share the love, even if we're, not together in person right now.
not skipping a beat even when they cannot be together. Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
As of right now, the studio is hoping to have their dance recital for the year on time at the end of May. Well, now here is the latest map of Kentucky showing COVID-19 cases. There are now cases confirmed in 63 of Kentucky's 120 counties. Here in the WYMT coverage area, there are positive cases in Pulaski, Boyd, Breathitt, Martin, Laurel, Lawrence, McCreary, Rockcastle, and Wayne counties. Well, many college campuses are largely empty, with students taking many of their classes online. That means some facilities can be used for other purposes. Transylvania University is opening up a gym to help house people in need. About 50 men who would normally be at the Hope Center's emergency shelter are moving into the facility. They also set up isolation rooms in case someone becomes sick. Well, a Kentucky legislative staffer has tested positive for COVID-19. The staffer works as a member of the Legislative Research Commission. Senate Minority Spokesperson Micah Goff says lawmakers were made aware of the situation yesterday. Goff says no details were released other than that the person had been home since March 16th. Alongside with the Team Kentucky Fund pushed by the governor in many of his news conferences, there is another fund to help out some Eastern Kentuckians. The Team Hazard Perry Fund is designed to help people who live and work in Perry County. Along with the yard sign fundraiser, officials are asking for donations so that bills and other necessities can be picked up for Eastern Kentuckians who may be laid off during the COVID-19 pandemic.
We would like to see every yard in Perry County have one of these signs in. And also, if you work in Knott County, or if you live in Knott County or Leslie County, Breathitt, Letcher, but you work in Perry County, this fund is for that type of person.
10 more seconds, hang tight. You heard from Mayor Happy Mobilini there. You can live outside of Perry County, but as long as you work in Perry County, you can qualify to apply for those. You can find that website on our website at WYMT.com. Well, the COVID-19 pandemic has hit a lot of people hard, especially financially, but others have weathered this storm and can help out. Kentucky's governor and lieutenant governor are calling on those Kentuckians to help their neighbors. One way is through the Team Kentucky Fund. WYMT's Phil Pendleton spoke to Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman about how that fund involves Kentuckians helping Kentuckians.
thousands of people have lost their jobs.
The volume of calls that we received were 80,000 in one day, and then the next day we received 180,000.
All of those people seeking unemployment, but that only goes so far.
Our number one priority is to make sure that these funds go to folks who have lost their job.
Already 4,600 donations have been received, totaling more than $390,000.
And to still have that many donations ranging from, $1 to much more than that, it gives me hope, and it reminds me why I'm so proud to be a Kentuckian.
The Team Kentucky Fund is being administered through the Public Protection Cabinet. Exactly how people will be chosen to receive this money, all of that is still being worked out. There will be an application process, and the details on that will be released at a later time.
Coach Cal.
In the meantime, Coleman says Governor Beshear will have some more high-profile help as part of his 5 o'clock news conferences.
And I have enlisted some familiar faces in Kentucky to help with that, and so the governor's going to have some good news on that soon.
To donate, you can go to donate.ky.gov. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, Lieutenant Governor Coleman says they continue to add workers to help with that unemployment claims, and recently they added a callback feature so people will not have to stay on the line as long.
Well, it was a pretty nasty and gloomy and rainy day here in the mountains, and that's going to continue a little bit as we head into tonight. We're glad to take you up to a few of those cameras. Looking at our UVA WISE camera, we've seen the rain and the gloomy conditions throughout the day. If it was hard for you to get out of bed this morning, me too. That rain definitely made it easier to stay in bed. Looking along Interstate 75 into Mount Vernon, you're seeing those wet roadways, so if you are out and about today or have to get out, just take it easy on those roads. Definitely seeing some ponding on the roadways. Looks like some of our friends down along I-75 in the Cumberland Valley starting to get a little bit of a break, but most of us still dealing with those gloomy conditions throughout the mountains. Temperatures into about the low to mid 40s, so pretty chilly out there. Higher elevations even got below freezing, which yes, they got a little bit of snow on top of Black Mountain today. But as we head into tonight, we will get chilly. We'll see the rain chances continue, but then they'll start to die down a little bit. Temperatures actually drop into the 30s as we head into the overnight hours. We'll talk a little bit more about what April's forecast is going to be coming up in a little bit.
Well, Paige, it's been a hard adjustment going from a beautiful day yesterday to the rain today. We hope that moves out quickly. Thank you. Well, the United States just had its deadliest day in the coronavirus pandemic. 500 people reportedly died from the virus in the last 24 hours. The naval ship Comfort is now docked in New York City's harbor and ready to accept non-coronavirus patients to help relieve overcrowding in hospitals. Florida has the 5th highest number of cases in the United States, and the governor is now weighing what to do with 2 Holland America cruise ships carrying dozens of sick and now 4 dead passengers. Meanwhile, Ford Motor Company is postponing production at its North American plants indefinitely. In a notice posted today, Ford said the delay is to protect workers. The company had previously said it would restart production at the Kentucky truck plant on April 14th. Ford is collaborating with General Electric Healthcare to produce ventilators. President Trump spent the day speaking with network service providers and meeting with his task force ahead of possible changes in federal guidelines. State governors are still pleading for more medical equipment, and now the U.S. military is looking to Washington as COVID-19 spreads through its ranks. Skylar Henry reports from the White House.
The Trump administration could reveal stricter social distancing guidelines this afternoon based on updated coronavirus models.
The guidelines will be very much as they are, maybe even toughened up a little bit.
White House Coronavirus Task Force member Dr. Anthony Fauci says recommendations for wide use of face masks are being actively discussed, though he also says healthcare workers must have priority. Several major U.S. companies have stepped up in recent weeks, producing ventilators, face masks, and other personal protection equipment. But governors from states large and small say they still are unable to secure the medical supplies they need.
It's like being on eBay with 50 other states, and now FEMA is bidding on top of the 50.
In an interview with MSNBC's Morning Joe, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi called on the president to use the Defense Production Act to do more.
Immediately implement the Defense Production Act, insisting that businesses in our country turn to producing the equipment that we need.
Tuesday, both the president and the House Speaker pushed the need for infrastructure spending in the fourth stimulus bill. But a senior official says the White House is focused on implementing the massive Phase 3 economic rescue package for now. A small business loans program is expected to be up and running by the end of the week, and Americans could begin to see direct payments in the next couple of weeks. Meanwhile, the U.S. military is sounding the alarm after a National Guardsman became its first fatality from the coronavirus over the weekend. The captain of the USS Theodore Roosevelt aircraft carrier is pleading with the Pentagon to remove service members after dozens on board tested positive for COVID-19. In a letter, he wrote, "We are not at war. Sailors do not need to die." Skyler Henry, CBS News, the White House.
Now, the Food and Drug Administration has authorized the use of a rapid test for the coronavirus that could get results back within just mere minutes. Health experts are calling it transformative in the fight against the coronavirus. Well, coming up on Mountain News at 4:30, we live in the digital age, so we will show you how a new app scientists believe may help slow the spread of COVID-19.
And yes, we see more rain tonight along with some gloomy weather for your Wednesday, but sunshine returns pretty quickly after that. I'll have your forecast coming up.